Mark, in any order you like, my friend, give me a piece from your collection that you'd like to talk about.
Okay, well, I mean, it's tough to break things down into like top five or anything like that. But I think one of the things that I always have on display before I even started kind of making this corner of my living room kind of Bond central, something I had on display on the mantelpiece for the last couple of years when I found it was something that I think that every person probably up and down the country or a lot kind of start out with, and that is the Corgi DB5. I
Oh
got this when I
yes.
was a kid. I mean, I don't know many people that don't have one of these. So this is has been on display, as I say, for a good few years now on the mantelpiece in my front room. And
Beautiful.
yeah, this is like I think for so many people we start out with toys when we're kids,
Yep.
and this was it for me. This is what kind of started it after seeing Goldfinger and seeing that car with the gadgets, and you just mesmerized by it. So that's one of my always on display, very kind of emotional moments to me.
And
Anyway,
does
is
anyone
the
eject out
DB5.
of it? Can you eject an
They
old?
do. So they do.
Oh,
However, the little man that was inside, I do still have him. He is somewhere. He's probably in a box of Lego or something upstairs. But obviously, where I'm currently wheelchair user, I'm not going upstairs that much. So I have a load of other stuff kind of up in the loft. I know
same.
loads of stuff got put up in the loft years ago, which I just can't get to at the minute. Um, so he is around somewhere, and I
Oh,
think you can actually order them online to get replacements. But I think everyone who has one of these, we've lost them at some point.
yeah.
So it's just it's part of the
Just
charm of it.
yeah, just replace them with like chess pieces or whatever you might find in the fridge, gherkins,
Or Lego Men, Lego Men.
Lego
It's,
men,
that's
perfect
probably where
size.
he is. Probably where he is.
Amongst his other Lego buddies. Okay, what else you
Yeah.
got going on there?
Well, I thought the next thing I'd kind of like love to highlight was something. I don't have anything that's. I might have one thing that's kind of possibly screen used, but I don't know for sure.
Ooh.
But something that I know was used on a movie was something that I picked up when I was about 13 or so. And it's one of these things where at the local kind of market about 20 minutes away, there was a film memorabilia stand that they had all posters, figurines, all that kind of stuff. And one day I was up there and I spotted this jacket and I knew what it was straight away before I'd even seen the back of it. And I just had to go in and pick it up, saved up my pocket money for about 2 or 3 months. And I picked up this 007 branded jacket, you can see
Nice.
there. But on the back, it's
Oh,
actually the Tomorrow Never Dies cast and crew jacket from 1997. And
beautiful.
I mean it's a large size. It's way too big for me. But it is beautiful. And I've seen so many photos since, like behind the scenes photos where these were kind of the jackets that were given to all the cast and crew that were working up in the Alps for the pre-title sequence. That
Right.
that
Oh,
amazing
wow.
pre-title sequence where they
Okay.
had to ship in trucks of snow because it was melting so quickly. At that time of
Wow.
year, they just have really bad snow. But yeah, this is kind of one of the things that I really love.
Anything in the inside, Mark? Any like names attached
There
or
is
labels?
there was a label, but whoever the previous owner was, and I don't know who it was, took the label out,
Ah,
unfortunately. So you can see
like a
the
true
outline there.
Bond, he doesn't want his identity known. That was like Terry
Exactly.
Madden or something like that. Hope you like this with all our love.
May well have been.
And he just bunged it in the local market there. Earned a bob or
Well,
two.
I don't know how these things end up where they end up, but I was pleased it did. So yeah, I kind of got that as my secondary piece for my collection.
I love that.
Uh,
Dig it. What else
third,
you got going on over there?
what else have we got going on? I think probably. So I didn't kind of get into the whole collecting of stuff. Through the early 2000s up in through Casino Royale and what have you. I kind of picked up some of the books, some of the behind the scenes photography books, the ones that Greg Williams have done
Yes.
and things
Yes.
like that. So I've got a couple of those on the shelf. But the kind of main thing that started me off in collecting was back in 2015 with the Spectre watch that was coming out, which is this
Oh,
bad boy here.
oh,
Um,
beautiful. Get it
Don't
up
know how
there.
that get
Yeah,
it up
yeah.
there in
Get it up.
there we
Get it
go.
in there. Lovely.
Get it in there.
Yeah, you've taken
Um
good care of your watch.
I try to. I try to. I do wear it. I wear it every other day. I kind of rotate through the watches that I'm fortunate enough to have. But yeah, a friend of mine, my best friend actually, saw the press release for this. He's not a Bond fan, but he knows that I like Bond. He'd seen a press release in GQ with the details of this watch and that it was coming out, it was going to be a limited edition and what have you. And I thought, oh, that's really cool. So people have probably heard my story a million times before, but I ended up, yeah, getting the watch. I was in talks with Amiga. I was after a very specific number because it's a limited edition piece. So yeah, I got this, and this was kind of where it all started for me. And this was actually the subject of the very first video that I ever posted on YouTube back in 2015. That's what kind of got me started on this journey that I'm now on, which means I'm now here doing this video
Wow.
with your good self, sir.
That's where it starts. What number did you go for?
So I was after, because it was limited to 7,007 pieces.
Mm.
I was after the number that was the year of my birth, so 1986. So that's what I was after. So I contacted Amiga in Switzerland. They were very helpful, very good. They came back to me very quick, and they said they would have the local boutique, which is for me was the Regent Street boutique, which is where I usually go now.
Mm.
Um, they contacted them. Unfortunately, it had already been issued out, but
Oh.
they said to me, "We have these numbers." They sent me a list of numbers that they had available. They were all sub 500 numbers, so very early doors. So I went for number 393. So 0393. So I thought I'll go for that because it's the same backwards as it is forwards.
Like
Um,
a palindrome. No.
exactly.
Is it?
Uh,
No, it's not.
it's
It's
what?
not a palindrome.
No,
Like
no, no,
ABBA.
no.
ABBA is a palindrome. Never
Yes,
mind. I'll find the
it's
word and edit it later on to make me sound sexy. Sorry.
Pete's putting a link down here to what the correct term is. But yeah, so I went for 393, and then as it turns out, I've had another watch that's a limited edition, and I went for the same number. So I'm starting this kind of theme of getting 393 as a limited edition number.
Dig
So
it. Dig
yeah,
it.
that's where it all kind of started for me. So it's a prized possession, as you
Yeah.
can imagine.
And the case is great as
Um,
well.
it's amazing. Like we went from a little rant now, so sorry, but you
That's right.
started it. We went from Spectre giving us this great display case to the No Time to Die, and we got a travel pouch, which is great. I love it, but it's quite a
Oh.
stark difference
Yeah,
between
yeah.
presenting it in a case like this and the travel pouch.
So what do
But
you think? I mean, did you know it was coming in a travel pouch, the No Time to Die watch?
Um, yes, I think we'd seen kind of hints at it
Mm.
before. Didn't detract from me wanting to pick up my own version of the watch. So it seems like quite a step change between everything Amiga do otherwise, which is beautiful presentation boxes, to
Mm.
then it came in a black presentation box, but just with the travel pouch
Yeah.
on the inside.
That feels like something you
So
should be able to just buy separately and have a box like you do for the others as standard, right?
possibly, possibly. I
Mm.
don't know what the decision process was
Mm.
on that, but I still love it. I mean, the travel pouch is really cool because it's
Oh
something
yeah.
very different.
No, I dig it.
It just, I think it takes people by surprise. But yeah.
Yeah.
So what are we at now? Is that
That's
three?
free, yeah.
That's three. So I'll probably go for another clothing item, and that's actually what I'm wearing today, which is
Strong choice.
the first piece that I ever got from Oliver Brown, and this is the A View to a Kill toweling jacket. That is the homage to the one that Sir Roger wore in the film with the same name, View to a
Yeah.
Kill.
Yeah.
So it's one of my staple pieces. I love wearing this when we're heading into spring, even summer,
Yeah.
because obviously Oliver Brown are a resort wear brand. But I just find it really comfortable. It's takes the chill off even in winter. Really comfortable. I know you've got one, and I know
I
you've worn
do,
yours to
yeah.
death as
I
well.
have, yeah. I
Um,
think I've only washed mine once. Have you washed yours?
I haven't washed it at all
There
yet.
you go.
No,
I thought I
no.
sensed that it was a strong color as well as a strong musk coming through the screen.
Actually, No, it still smells
You know?
because I keep I've got all my Oliver Brown stuff obviously hung up and I have it in proper clothing bags, protectors, and all
Oh,
sorts because I
very,
try to make
very well
sure
done.
that all the pieces that I get, I try to look after them the best that I can and make sure they're all really looked after. So
You're a
yeah.
better man than I. Mark, what would you say is maybe not the number one, but a haymaker in your collection?
The Haymaker in my collection, I'm going to go for something that I received just over a year ago. And it's something that was probably a year or maybe just slightly longer in the hunting of said piece. And that would be, if I can get it out, you've seen this before, so I
Oh,
apologize.
I have. This
Oh,
is
no.
this is
This
it.
is this is it. This is my pièce de resistance. This is I can't put into words how much it means to me, to be honest. It's something I never thought I'd actually own. And the circumstances that I actually came to get it it was gifted to me by the CEO of Amiga himself. Um, so it just means the world to me. And my background is film and photography. I was doing it for 10 years as a youth worker. So it's always been a passion of mine, hence going into this kind of creation route as well. And I always try and put out, the best quality images of my own that I can. So to be able to get my hands on something that's so rare and so special is yeah, this is it for me. And then the journey that I've gone on with this book since as well, if I can carefully, of course, open it up. There is, of course, a letter that comes from Greg Williams asking not to share the contents, which I'm not
Yeah.
going to, other than the front page where I've gone on this
Ah,
journey getting these signatures of the key individuals
this
behind the
is
book. So
Operations Exploding Pen, right?
this is Operation Exploding Pen, correct? Yeah. So actually, I got a reminder on my stories that it was a year ago, I think yesterday, that I dropped this off at Eon's house, Eon offices, Eon
Mm,
House
mm.
down in Piccadilly for Barbara and Michael to sign, which they very graciously did. And then, yeah, the journey that I've gone on getting these signatures. So Barbara and Michael, Reynold, CEO of Amiga, and then Greg Williams as well. It's opened doors to other things and other experiences and what have you. So it's a continuing journey. There's one more to go, as you know. So
Fantastic.
yeah, we keep our fingers crossed that I'll be able to, hopefully, with my good friend Matthew Gibbs, Commander Bond underscore 007, who's been on this journey as well, with his own copy of this book, we'll be able to get DC's signature in there as well at some point. So
Oh,
yeah,
mate. Oh, brilliant. No, that's a great
yeah.
story. No, I've enjoyed following this story as well as you've been chronicling it since you got it. So, by the way, that's a ballsy move. Just like, do you just kind of knock on Eon's door and go, "Hey, I've got a huge parcel for you guys. Babs and Michael not in. No, okay, don't worry, don't disturb them. But I'm just going to leave this huge, massive photo album behind, and in their own time, just give me a call when they've done."
Not quite. I mean, I was fortunate. I had some guidance. As I say, Matthew has a copy of this book as well, and he'd already managed to get Barbara Michael to sign his copy. So he knew some contact details. He actually had email details for Barbara and Michael, to be blunt. And I managed to send an email in, copied in Eon's like info at their generic one,
Mm,
and I got an email back from them from the offices, and they said, yeah, they'll be happy to sign it. They can't say when it would happen because obviously they're very busy in and out and
sure.
everything else. It was, I think, at the time like awards season because Barbara had the movie Till was up for contention in a couple of different awards,
Right.
so they were in and out of the country. They said, yeah, if you want to ship it down to us, we're happy to get it signed. And I thought,
Don't
I'd
want
rather not
that. We don't
take the
trust
risk
Royal
and
Mail that much. Yeah.
no, no. So I said if it's okay to drop it off, and they said yeah, that's fine. So I did. Yeah. So it took it was they were very good, very accommodating, and very supportive. So that they couldn't have done anything more to make it possible. So yeah, it didn't take long, and it was with them for about a month, and then it was signed, and I got the email saying you can come and pick it up whenever you're ready. So I did.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Hey, were you tempted to do this move where you drop it off and say, "Hey, I can just hang around if you like." So, you're already getting your foot in the door, you're in the lobby. And then you just go, look, I don't mind. They go, look, it could be weeks. And then at that point, you bring out like a week's supply of food.
Food, like
Yeah,
a little camping tent and a
yeah, go,
sleeping
look,
bag.
just say I'm all good. I'll be here for a week. Do what you want. Just don't mind me. Must have gone through
Um,
your mind.
I, it did for a couple of seconds, but then it was quite cold on the day, and I realised, oh, there's steps into their offices, so it probably isn't going to work. So no, I trusted them. I dropped it off. I packaged it up really well,
Mm,
and yeah, it was great. I just couldn't believe it. Those first two signatures. I mean, I thought it would take a lot longer to try and track them down or to get them to agree to sign it, but it was
right.
like within a couple of weeks there was agreement to sign it. So yeah, it was great.
Oh, mate, that's really sweet. Listen, thanks for sharing that, Mark. I really,
That's okay.
really dig
I
looking
mean,
at your
there's
collections,
low
learning the
there's
stories. There's
yeah,
loads more. We could
there's
do like a part 2 and a part 3.
you
But
could do,
we're going
yeah.
to try and keep it to a tight 10 for today. But I really appreciate you jumping on. Views from
No
Mark, by
worries.
the way, is where you can catch that very first video of you detailing the
Operation Exploding Pen.
Operation Exploding Pen and the Spectre Watch and everything else. I mean, everything else that you're
It's
doing
all
there,
there.
the Lord's work.
Yeah.
We'll leave links in the show notes. But for now, Mark, until next time.
No
Um,
worries. Catch you soon.
maybe in a couple of weeks, I'll see if I can hoodwink you again, and we'll do like a minute by minute blow,
Yeah,
which
go for it. Yeah, no.
sounds it's very
So,
innocent, even though the title
it
sounds
is. It sounds like utter filth, but yeah,
like
no. I'm available.